Hey Firestorm family, welcome to our virtual orientation here, getting geared up for the 25 academic year here at ACU. We're so excited for you to be joining us here today to talk a little bit about what to expect when you're here on campus. We'll hear from different leaders from our student life department, our academic department, our enrollment department, and everywhere in between, telling you a little bit about what you should expect when you come to campus here and a little bit of tips and tricks on how to be a successful student here at ACU. First up today, we'll have our campus pastor, Pastor Travis, give us a prayer, a little words of encouragement, and then tell us a little bit about spiritual life here at ACU.
Welcome, ACU family. Welcome to our virtual orientation. I'm campus pastor Travis Turner, and I want to thank you for joining us for this little bit of time that you get to know some of our staff and some of our faculty. Well, let's get started with some prayer and a little bit of word. Father, I thank you for these moments we have together. Lord, I thank you for our new students and their parents. Thank you for them trusting us and entrusting us with their kids. And I just pray that you bless these moments we have together. I pray that they would be encouraged by what they hear and see. And I thank you for them. And I pray that their summers would be blessed by you. They'd be encouraged by you, that your grace and mercy would be on them. In Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen. Well, thank you for joining us. I want to start with a little bit of scripture. One of my favorite passages in the Bible is Psalm 119. And I believe the whole chapter really helps embodies a little bit about what ACU is all about. So I want to share a little bit of Psalm 119 with you, starting in verse 9. How can a young man keep his way pure? Isn't that a question all of us parents are asking? By guarding it according to your word. Within my whole heart I seek you. Let me not wander from your commandments. I have stored up your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Blessed are you, O Lord. Teach me your statutes. With my lips I declare all the rules of your mouth. In the way of your testimonies I delight as much as in riches. I will meditate on your precepts and fix my eyes on your ways. I will delight in your statutes. I will not forget your word. That really embodies what ACU is all about. It's about Scripture, about His Word, about storing up His Word in our heart that we might not sin against Him. And I believe it starts with biblical curiosity. What I'm hoping is as students come to campus, they will get more and more curious about Scripture for themselves. They've been raised often in a Christian environment where they're made to read Scripture, maybe in Bible studies or by mom and dad. Well, I'm hoping that they will begin to want to get into the Word for themselves because they want to, because they're curious about what God might say to them. And see, I believe that this biblical curiosity then turns into biblical literacy. Well, they will start reading the Word and start understanding it, where the Word will start coming alive to them, and they will begin to see what God wants to say to them, how God wants to speak in and through them, because it starts with curiosity, then goes to literacy, and ultimately what I want it to lead to is a biblical lifestyle, because that's what we're all looking for, a life that aligns with the Word of God, and we begin to live our lives with a biblical worldview. So that's my hope for all of the ACU students, and that's what our desire is for their family as well. Now, spiritual formation may be the most important part of the ACU journey here on campus. And that journey really begins with chapel. We have chapel twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 11 a.m. Now our Tuesday chapels are entirely student-led. The students lead the media announcements, the worship, and the teaching of the Word. And on Thursdays, the students also will lead with worship, and then we'll be bringing back ACU alumni, and we'll also be using ACU faculty and staff to bring the Word to the students on Thursdays. Those are extraordinary experiences, and chapel is required, by the way. You have to go to 22 out of 30 chapels throughout each semester. Now, in addition to that, At the beginning of each semester, we have what we call Ignite. And Ignite is 24 hours of worship and prayer that'll be held here in the King Auditorium. It's something you're really going to want to be a part of. It's an extraordinary experience, and I know you're going to love it. And then each month we have another worship experience called Encounter. And that will be each month throughout each semester, and really is an opportunity for students to gather together, to worship, to hear each other, to encourage and pray together. Now, in addition to those things, we also have Bible studies throughout campus, and we also have life groups throughout campus. That's probably the first thing I want you to do within the first 2 weeks of you being here at ACU is get yourself connected into a life group. Find your community, find people with like-mindedness, and those communities are really a joy to be a part of. And then we're going to put our faith into practice with service projects. Each semester, every student has to do 2 service projects, either on campus or off campus, using different ministries around the city. We have Habitat for Humanity, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Feed My Starving Children. These are some of the different companies that we're involved with in which you can do your service projects. Then there's often opportunities here on campus in which to fulfill your 2 service projects. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in the fall. We'll see you in August.
Once again, thank you, Pastor Travis, for your words of encouragement. Again, giving us a little insight into spiritual life here at ACU. Next up, we'll hear from Dr. Adam Rasmussen, telling us a little bit about what makes ACU's academic program here unique and a little bit about the core here at ACU.
Hello, Firestorm family. I'm Adam Rasmussen, and we're going to talk about what you can expect from your classes at Arizona Christian University. People come to us from all different backgrounds and come for different reasons. They want to get a good job. They want to grow in their relationship with God and their Christian faith. They want to express their gifts and talents and abilities in music and sports and in ministry at the collegiate level. I know that our core curriculum will challenge the way you think and will prepare you to be a leader in your chosen field. You will be equipped with a biblical worldview. We're going to ground you in the Apostles' Creed, in the flow of Scripture, and in books like Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. You'll discover the intersection of faith, reason, and culture. Our professors will be your guides as they help you and your classmates explore together the human narrative, going all the way back to the ancient Greeks and Hebrews, through several epics in history, all the way down to the contemporary American scene. And our interdisciplinary approach weaves together theology, philosophy, history, art, literature, and politics. You'll learn not only what you believe, but why you believe what you believe. Our students come to us knowing, for example, that the Bible is the fully authoritative Word of God. But why? Why do you believe that? By the time you're done at ACU, you'll not only know what you believe, but you'll know the reasonableness of the Christian faith, and you'll be able to defend your beliefs persuasively. You'll also become very familiar with alternative worldviews. We do spend the bulk of our time studying the biblical worldview, but you'll also have exposure to different ways that people think, the other worldviews like naturalism, postmodernism, nihilism, a bunch of other isms. And the reason we want that is so that you'll be able to have empathy towards those who think differently than you do, and to be able to build bridges, to have fruitful conversations and evangelism. You'll be able to engage in significant conversations with others. You'll learn how to listen, to really listen and to understand others, and to express yourself clearly. You'll definitely grow in your relationship with God and in the knowledge of yourself. In all of our courses, your spiritual life of your own soul will be challenged and nurtured, and you will think differently. In Luke 10:27, Jesus said that we are to love the Lord our God with all of our mind. And so many doors and windows will be opened for lifelong learning. All of these benefits are yours at Arizona Christian University. Get ready for a great adventure with some of the best friends you're ever going to have in your life. You're going to be prepared for that job. You're going to grow stronger in your faith. You'll be able to express yourself through all of your gifts and talents at the college level. And I bet God will have some custom-made special surprises just for you that you haven't even thought about yet. Welcome to ACU. I believe Arizona Christian University will equip you with a biblically integrated Christian liberal arts education that is a lot of fun, that is encouraging, challenging, practical, and above all, Christian.
Next, we'll hear from Brent Smith and Callie Marsh, two members of our student life team, telling you a little bit about some of the fun things you'll be able to do here on campus outside of the classroom.
Hello, I'm Brent Smith, Director of Student Engagement here at ACU. I'm super excited to welcome all the new students on the campus, their families. And I just wanted to touch on a few things that I get to oversee and help with, and can't do it without the students. So, 3 things. First, new student orientation. What you can expect coming onto campus is going to be an introduction to academics, an introduction to key people in various departments. There will be a parent session. We'll have that on move-in day. And on top of that, for the students, we're going to get you plugged into a crew group, which is going to be your orientation group throughout that first week, where you'll be with 20 to 25 other incoming students, and each group is going to be led by 2 upperclassmen students who have been there before, done that, who will show you around, and the hope is that potentially they become a mentor for you. And so that's first thing. Second thing, intramural sports. We have those, and they happen every Tuesday night, and we'd love for you to get involved, and we play a different sport each week, so be on the lookout. We use IM leagues to run all that, and some of the fun sports we played last year were volleyball, spike ball, and 3-on-3 basketball. If you have an idea for what you want to do, we've got a group of student leaders who oversee that, and we'd love to get your feedback. We'd love to see you out on the court, out on the field, building community through competition. Lastly, clubs. we have them as well. Last year we had 23 clubs in total, and kind of our 4 categories of clubs are academic, spiritually focused, social interest, or recreational. So if you have an idea, if there's a group of students that want to get something started, please come see me, talk to your crew leader, and we'll see what we can do. Look forward to meeting you and seeing you on campus, and roll Storm.
Hi everybody, my name is Callie Marsh and I have the pleasure of working in our student life department here at ACU. We're so excited that you're joining us in fall, and we just want to give you a preview of what you can expect for your time here at ACU. Every Tuesday night, our campus rec team hosts intramural sports in the FRC. Sometimes it's dodgeball, sometimes it's volleyball, sometimes it's spike ball, sometimes it's ping pong, and that's a great opportunity to meet people and play competitive sports. Every Wednesday night, our campus activities board hosts winter formal to kiddie pool kickball to even National Pepperoni Pizza Day. This is a really fun break in your week to gather, meet friends, and line dance or throw a football around, get some snacks, and spend time together building community. On Thursdays, usually once a month, our spiritual life team hosts a worship encounter or a worship prayer night. This is a really good opportunity to get connected in fellowship and prayer and worship, and really just grounded in the things that matter most to us here at ACU, which is the Lord. So you can look out for those once a month. Usually on Friday nights, we have Friday Night Live, which is sometimes live music from our music department. Sometimes it's board games. Sometimes it's study sessions. That's just like a late night hangout in the Tower Student Hub. You can expect to see those as well throughout the year. After you check in, you'll go through the new student orientation and then Welcome Week. Welcome Week is a really fun opportunity to meet new people and get plugged in immediately at ACU. We have events that are campus traditions and classics like Firestorm Roundup with line dancing and bull riding and yummy food, and we have our silent disco, which is really funny if you don't have your headphones on, and we will be hosting a field night, we'll be hosting a worship and connection night, and we'll also have a watermelons and water slides, which is a massive water slide with water guns and watermelons, you guessed it. So we want you to come, we want you to know that you were invited to all of these. This is a great opportunity to meet your peers and to get acclimated to ACU's community culture. A great way to keep up with all of the events happening around on campus is to follow at ACU Student Life, where we post weekly what's going on around campus. You can also check your local bulletin board to see what's happening as we post a monthly snapshot. We're so excited you're joining us in fall, and we can't wait to see you.
Next, we'll hear from Brian Stanley, Head of Residence Life and Assistant Dean of Students. He's going to give you a little preview about what to expect when you're living on campus, including a little sneak peek at some of the dorm rooms here at ECU.
How's it going? My name is Brian Stanley. I'm Director of Residence Life here at Arizona Christian University. I have the unique experience of not only being an employee of the school, but an alumni. I've gone to the school, know its core values, its mission, and I love the environment that we have here at the campus. One of my jobs is to actually oversee all the dormitories and RAs. Our RAs are a team built to assist you in whatever college experience you have. They've seen it all, they've been through it all, and they want to make sure that you're thriving here on our campus. Freedom and Liberty are going to be our two main freshman dorms that we use. Those dorms have one dorm room for you that's with you and your roommate. They connect through a bathroom with another suite mate that's on the other side. These rooms come with a desk, dresser, and a bed. You'll be able to make your own space however you want to make it. Your RAs are going to be in charge of you. You should have at least one or two per floor that you're on. They're going to help you oversee any number of things, whether it be maintenance requests, conduct issues, anxiety about your upcoming school year, or just feeling a little homesick. They love to encourage you, reach out, and make sure that your experience here at Arizona Christian is one that can possibly be the best. We have 4 main resident directors on campus. These resident directors oversee our RAs and make sure that they're having everything that you need to make sure that you're having a great time and a good environment here on campus. Our other dorms include Independence, Hotel, Patriot 3, Patriot 2, and Constitution. Each one of these dorms has a unique experience that's out there that's available for you to check into. Each one of these dorms has a unique experience that's geared to your environment. You get to make your own room however you want to succeed or thrive for your school year. Each month, your RAs are going to throw on one event per month. These could be football watch parties, this could be Monday night tournaments, this could be just a study session where we provide pizza for you guys. The first night we throw a Storm and Norman's Neon Bash. It's one massive event for all our new students on campus. Our RAs love throwing this event. Wear your neon outfit, wear neon colors, and we'll have the glow sticks and the party to make sure that you're going to have a great time. One area that I want you to be aware of, if you have any sort of mechanical or room problem, feel free to reach out to reslife@arizonachristian.edu. That's your gateway to accessing any sort of maintenance issue that you may have. Whether it be a leaky sink, something's off with the air conditioning, we want to make sure that you're able to we want to make sure that you're able to fix those problems whenever needed. That's reslife@arizonachristian.edu. I'd love to get to know you or talk or answer any other questions you may have. Thanks. Have a great day.
Corey Quinn is our next speaker. He is our Director of Campus Safety. He's going to walk you through a little bit of how we keep our campus safe and secure.
Hello, my name is Corey Quinn and I serve as Director of Campus Safety at Arizona Christian University. I'm delighted to welcome you and your family to our community and provide you with an overview of our Campus Safety Department. Our team consists of dedicated guards whose primary mission is to ensure the safety and security of students, staff, faculty, and visitors. We employ a comprehensive security strategy that incorporates patrol, advanced technology, and educational programs. Our security personnel includes a mix of armed and unarmed guards along with off-duty police officers who patrol our campus around the clock. Our armed guards are all retired police officers who collectively bring over 200 years of law enforcement and military expertise. To stay abreast of best practices, our guards participate in annual training sessions covering university policies, CPR and first aid, firearms proficiency, and other relevant areas. The Campus Safety Office operates 24/7. Should the office be momentarily unstaffed, a two-way video system in the lobby allows anyone to communicate directly with the on-duty guard. Additionally, assistance is just a phone call away at 602-489-5301. We have invested significantly in resources to maintain a secure environment at ACU. These measures include security cameras, alarmed emergency exits, and keycard access systems in residence halls. We also provide personal escorts for those moving across campus. We encourage all students and staff to download the Stop It app on their mobile devices. This app enables users to instantly report emergencies by pressing a red button, which alerts our on-site response team and allows for the discreet transmission of additional information through text, photo, videos, or voice recordings. During an emergency, the app provides real-time location tracking until the situation is resolved. Our campus safety team maintains a strong collaboration with local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies who are regularly present on campus for patrols and support. We ensure all incidents are documented and, when necessary, reported to the appropriate law enforcement authorities. At ACU, the safety and success of our students truly mean the world to every member of our staff. I'm genuinely excited to support your student in creating their own unforgettable college experience. Thank you for your trust in us with your student Enroll Storm.
I'm so excited to hear from our next speaker, Dr. Jeff Green, our VP of Academic Affairs here at ACU. He's in charge of overseeing our entire academic department and will give us a little bit of insight here of what to expect in the classroom.
My name is Jeff Green, and I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs here at Arizona Christian University. You might not know, what's a VP of Academic Affairs? Well, by training, I happen to be a philosopher. I'm a professor here, and I oversee our library, our student services, our registrar's office, and our various departments here. And just on behalf of all of us in the academic area, we're so thrilled that you've come to join us and become part of the Firestorm family. When you're here at ACU, school is definitely going to be a big part of why you're here. Studying, reading, doing papers, things like that. A few things I just want to pass on to you for you to be thinking about as you enter into your college years. First, I really encourage you to be patient with yourselves, right? Figure out the right number of classes to take each semester. For some of you, that might be 5, 6 classes. For others, it might be 4 classes. I know that there's an urgency and a hope, you want to get on and move on with your career. We want to help launch you into that. But I also encourage you to find the right pace for you too. Recognize that, some of you are going to choose your major in the first semester and it's going to be the perfect major for you. Others of you might take some time, right? Try a class or 2 out in different majors or even switch your majors, and that's all right as well. There is no predetermined time in which you have to graduate from college to start launching your career. For everybody, it's going to be a different story that God has with you, that He's planned for you. So trust His sovereignty, follow His will, and figure out the best pace for you to succeed. I also really encourage you to get to know your professors. Many of our professors will have offices on campus, or they'll be willing to meet with you over Zoom. They want you to succeed. And I know it can be scary and a little awkward necessarily to reach out that first time and send that email, but try it. If they're like me, and many of them are, they're so happy when a student emails them and wants to pick their brain, wants to get their advice, or even just wants help with an assignment. We recognize that we're imperfect too, and so maybe the instructions we gave weren't as clear as they could have been. Or maybe there's something you really want to know more about something we said in class. Let us know. We're happy to engage you. Come see us in the office hours. We can go have coffee in the tower or something like that. Whatever it is that we need to do to help you take your next step towards Christ and towards succeeding here, we want to be a part of it. And finally, get to know your other classmates as well. Your fellow classmates are a wealth of information. They can help you remember, hey, we got that quiz due or we got that paper due. But they also can be encouraging for you as well. It's going to be an up and down journey, right? That's the nature of life. And there's going to be some classes that you're going to find harder than others. Finding friends around you that can come alongside of you and encourage you, maybe help you, and be able to direct you to good resources to overcome a class that they've also struggled with and overcome, that can just be a great benefit to you. And so be willing to put yourselves out there. You're coming in, you have teammates here, you have students and faculty that are surrounding you that want to see you succeed, and to be able to find a major and then hopefully a profession that really matches what Christ's calling is for you and your vocation. So again, welcome to ACU. We're really glad you're here. My name is Jeff Green. You're always willing to come stop by and say hello to me in my office. Take care. Bye.
Now we'll hear from Lexi Bartamioli, our senior EMS here at ACU, about a little bit about the enrollment management specialist role and how it's here to serve you as a student here at ACU.
Hey guys, my name is Lexi. I'm the Senior Enrollment Management Specialist here at Arizona Christian University. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what your Enrollment Management Specialist or EMS does to help you during your time at ACU. First, we help you with your academics. So you'll meet with your EMS at least once every semester to help you get enrolled in classes for the next semester. We also help you with things like planning your graduation plan, making sure you're registered for the correct classes, and just overall your advocate during your time at ACU. Second, we also help you with your finances. Figuring out how to pay for college can be really stressful, so we're here to help you from the beginning to the very end of the process. We can help you answer questions about your FAFSA application. We'll provide all the different resources to help you with everything from student loans to tuition reimbursement to private scholarships and all those sorts of things to make sure that you can fund your college as stress-free as possible. Lastly, we're your main fan here on campus. So we, as your one-stop shop student advisor, we are your student advocate to help you if you're having troubles in any sorts of areas while you're at school. If you're feeling homesick, if you're having trouble with a teacher or a roommate, you can come to us and we'll help connect you with the right resources to resolve those challenges.
Next, we'll hear from Dr. Jennifer Russum. She oversees our Academic Center of Excellence here at ACU, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how that's going to help you be a successful student at ACU.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Russum, and I am the director of the Academic Center for Excellence at ACU. Around campus, we call this the ACE, and it is located in the east wing of the library. The ACE is your one-stop shop to get the academic support that you need. In the ACE, we have tutoring, we have a writing center, and we have academic success coaching. In the ACE, we want to support you with any class that you are taking at ACU. That means if you're in a science or a math class and you have a tough exam coming up, you can come to the ACE and meet with one of our tutors and get help preparing for that exam. Or maybe you're in an English class or a humanities class and you are writing a paper and you want some support. You can come to the Writing Center and we can help you with any paper at any stage in the writing process. That means that our writing coaches can help you build an outline or come up with a thesis statement, or they can help you with the final editing of your paper before you turn it in for a grade. In the ACE, we also have success coaches that are there to help you with your academic journey. So if you ever have a question about a class or you need help with studying or taking notes or planning for your finals, our success coaches are there to help you. Basically, if you need any help with your academic journey or your classes at ACU, please stop by the ACE and we will have someone there to serve you and support you.
I'm excited to hear from Susan Johnson next. She is a professor here at ACU, but also serves as our campus historian. She's going to tell us a little bit about the history of ACU and how we transitioned to our new facilities here in beautiful Glendale, Arizona.
Hi, future Firestorm. I'm Professor Susan Weaver Johnson, and I am the chair of the Department of Liberal Arts, as well as an instructor here on campus. But one of the many hats that I wear is of university historian. Our university actually was founded back in 1960 as a Bible college, training pastors and worship leaders and educators and Christian ministry. That is still a piece of who we are today. But as we continued to grow about 15 years ago, we rebranded and used the name Arizona Christian University. Arizona, because that explains where we are at. Christian, it's not just okay to be a Christian here, but we want you to commit to your faith, and we integrate biblical worldview and study throughout all of our classes. This is core to who we are and what we believe. And then a university. Today we compose 2 different schools in the undergraduate program, and then we also are offering master's degrees. So our school has continued to grow. And the exciting thing was that just before COVID in 2019, our university actually moved across campus. We were on a piece of land that had been donated to us in the kind of extenuating will of a nurse who came out to Arizona in the late 1800s, Miss Ida Klaus. And Ida had a land grant of 160 acres. And when she passed, she left that land to be used for God's purposes. Arizona Christian University, when in 2019, had about 20 acres of that land left. We were doing amazing things as a school and getting recognition for our academic achievement and what we're doing in the classrooms and preparing for a wide range of careers. But the land was small and the rooms were cramped and it was old. In 2019, this miracle occurred where we were able to swap that very valuable small piece of land for a beautiful campus. Today we have about 73 acres with beautiful classrooms, provisions for fields and swimming and recreation, but also the space for in the classroom, our professional studies. Beautiful dorms, cafeteria. The land itself comes with a deep history. In my job as historian, one of the things I take a very careful look at is our World War II history of this new piece of property that we have. It was started in 1941, several months before the bombing at Pearl Harbor. It was a pilot cadet training base where pilots from all over the United States came to learn how to fly, as well as British pilots who were already at war in Europe and Chinese pilots who were already at war in Asia. Over the years, over 10,000 men came here and trained to be pilots. The graduation rate actually was very high. There were 60 of these training sites across the United States, but this one was special. Not only did we have a very great safety record and the training of these young men, but also it was known as the country club of all of the other pilot schools. It was a beautifully designed set of buildings and landscaping, even down to the painting and the architecture of the furniture. Jumping forward 80 years, we've inherited that site, and there are still a few World War II locations on our property. But in the intervening 80 years, many beautiful buildings were built by the Thunderbird School of Global Management. And in our switch from our old campus to this one, we have just gained a wonderful opportunity to expand our programs. As a historian, I look back and do analysis and think about how we can learn from the men and the women who were here before us. But one thing I want to challenge you as coming in as a freshman is what kind of history are you going to leave here at ACU before you are gone in 4 or 5 years when you graduate? What changes will you make? This is my privilege. This will be starting my 19th year at our school. And I've gotten to know many men and women from around the world who in small and large ways have started new programs, ministries, student traditions. Some of them who are now working for the university in many capacities. And it's exciting to see them transforming culture with truth, which is our school motto. How are you going to do that? Please think about that. Pray about that. Be intentional. How are you going to jump in when you arrive in campus next fall? Are you going to be involved in your major and taking classes? Well, yes, you will, but there's a lot of other things that you can do to build your resumes and build your networking within your major academic area. Will you be involved in student life? Maybe you want to be a resident assistant in the dorm as you've lived here. Maybe you want to be involved in music. We have this phenomenal music program here at ACU. Maybe you're going to come as an athlete. Maybe you're going to come as an honor scholarship. What are you going to do to then leave this place even better than you found it? So welcome to Arizona Christian University. We're excited to have you starting the end of August in 2024. But remember, as though it's a beginning for you, please be intentional about what you're going to be involved with, how the Lord is going to use you, and being willing to open doors and experience new things as you come and join us as part of our Firestorm family.
As we begin to transition into our Q&A portion of our orientation here, I just want to give one last thank you to all our incredible speakers that we heard from today. Hopefully you gained a little bit of insight, picked up some helpful tips and tricks, and learned a little bit more about what student life is going to be like for you as students here at ACU. During our transition period here, go ahead and start putting any questions that you may have for our panelists into the comment section. We'll start going through those questions one by one and answering any questions that you may have, whether it's a very simple question or more complex. We'll get as many of those questions answered for you during that Q&A portion. Again, start dropping those in now. And to wrap us up again, thank you so much to all of our incredible staff and faculty that we heard from today. go. Hey guys, again, we're at our live Q&A portion of our virtual orientation here. I got a few representatives here that are going to help answer any questions. We have a nice variety from around campus. Again, my name is David Hoskinson. I'll be helping out with answering just a bunch of random ones as well. I'll start on the other side of the table. Leah Carlisle, she is processing, getting information to you guys, dates, all that stuff. You're probably getting emails from her already. If you're not, double check with your recruiter or your admissions or athletic recruiting coordinator to make sure that all that information is getting to you, because she's sending you a ton of stuff there through our systems. Izzy is here. She's a current student and works for us as a student worker as well, doing a bunch of different things in our enrollment department. Been a leader on campus in a lot of different ways too. She's going to be really connected with that. And then next to me here is Matt, and RD here on campus. So all your housing questions, your laundry questions, your food questions, he's going to be your guy here this morning, as well as he's an alumni here from ACU as well. So he's going to be able to talk about that a little bit, about that student experience and some of that background as well. So again, any questions you might have, we'll try to answer as many as we can. Some of them will be like, hey, we'll drop an email, shoot an email to this email, and we'll get that question answered. If maybe it's a little bit more in depth, or we got to expand it a little bit more outside of maybe something we can answer pretty quickly in this format. So we'll kind of jump through and start answering some of the questions. Again, we're going to start at the top and kind of work our way down. If you think of one, put it in the chat. Keep asking them. But we'll kind of work through those questions. Sound good, guys?
Sounds
all right,
great.
perfect. So I think the first one that we'll start with, I think one of the early ones we got was a question about a car and maybe not having a car on campus and access to public transportation and getting around there. So I think kind of ask you guys too, a lot of our students don't necessarily have a car, but that's one kind of cool thing about the college experience is probably your roommate does, or your best friend does, or someone does in your life where you have to make that run to Walmart or run to a grocery store real quick to pick up a few things. You should be able to find one pretty easily. And again, where we are at here in Glendale in the greater Phoenix area, there's a ton of stuff pretty much within a mile of us. There's a Walmart just north. There's Chick-fil-A, Chipotle restaurants a mile south. There's a huge mall complex maybe 4 miles away from us. So nothing's too far where even if you have to order an Uber or a Lyft or anything like that, it's not going to be too pricey on that. And then anything for assignments or activities on campus as well. Again, usually those are going to be in groups, whether with teams or with life leader groups or our pilot program and all that, and our crews. So again, anything like that, again, there'll be plenty of opportunity to kind of bum a ride off one of your friends, as well as just there's so many things, including a gas station, a QT across the street, that kind of makes it a lot easier to get around pretty quick without having to go too far.
Perfect. So I'm going to come across the table here. Like DJ said, my name is Leah, and I love all the questions about check-in. So I know we're trying to go in order, but there's a ton of questions about it. And you guys are like reading my minds. I'm desperate to send out this email very, very soon. So hopefully within the next few weeks, we're super close to just getting the last few details finalized, but in a general way of telling you when your check-in day is going to be. If you're a fall athlete, there are going to be separate times and dates for that coming very, very soon. If you are just a traditional new student and you are also either a winter or spring athlete, it's going to be on Thursday, August 21st. So that's going to be your new student check-in day. It'll be in the morning. And kind of just so you know what check-in looks like in kind of a really broad scope. Everybody's going to start by coming into our library for whatever check-in day and time that starts at. You'll go through, you'll get your picture taken for your student ID. Also, fun fact, all of our student IDs are digital on your phone. So you're not going to be getting a physical ID. We get that question a lot every year. So that's the first thing. We'll kind of get you all verified. You'll get your campus parking permit, or your pass you're going to put in your car. So it's also a great reason to come. We'll meet you halfway through, kind of going through, making sure nothing like financial or your housing stuff, just making sure everything is all cleared and ready to go. And the last thing is we'll kind of tell you where your dorm's going to be at on campus. And then you are well on your way to either getting moved in, kind of finishing everything else that you need to do wrapped up for that day. And that's kind of just a really quick snapshot of what check-in will look like for that day. So that's the best I can say for that.
Yeah, we have a question that asks, we have both police officers and guards on campus. This is a great question. We have a great security team on campus, and the security team consists of both security guards and ex-police officers, and I believe there's even a couple of current police officers who work here in their off-duty times. And so, yes, you have a great experience across the board when it comes to campus safety, and they do a really good job of patrolling the campus.
Yeah. We have a question on here about life groups, and the question is, how are life groups assigned? So I would love to speak to that because I'm a big fan of life groups. A lot of my dearest friends are life leaders, and so life groups aren't assigned. You're not necessarily placed in a group or assigned to one life leader, but you have the freedom to kind of pick and choose, and the life leaders will kind of have a bio and a little bit about what they're going to be working through. So some of them go through different books of the Bible. Some of them go through, like one of our male life leaders, he led a bunch of guys through the Chosen series and talked about how to connect with Jesus as an actual person. One of my friends had her life group called Spill the Tea, and she basically just invited a bunch of wise women to come and spill the tea about what it means to be a Christian woman. And so you get to kind of pick and choose based on what aspect of your faith that you want to grow.
Cool. Kind of have one really short one I'm just going to answer real quick, and then another one we're going to talk to. I'm going to ask you guys also to speak on it as well, with you guys having different jobs on campus. But the easy one real quick, do I got to reapply every year for grants and scholarships? Yes and no. So if it's any federal grants or any federal aid or anything like that through your FAFSA, that you will have to reapply for every year. But in terms of your ACU institutional scholarships, whether that's your athletic scholarship, an honor scholarship, a typical academic award, again, any of those awards, as long as you're meeting that minimum GPA requirement, you're good to go. You don't need to reapply for those. But again, any of that federal stuff, Pell Grants, direct loans, Parent Plus loans, private loans, anything like that that's maybe connected to ACU but outside of ACU, funds coming in, that you will need to reapply for every year. And then there's a great question here, what kind of jobs do you offer for students on and off campus? So off campus is kind of a quicker answer there, and that's we have tons of things around us here. Again, we have a huge mall and kind of shopping complex and area about 4 or 5 miles kind of northwest of us here. There's a spring training stadium there. There's a huge mall. There's movie theaters. Like anything you can think of is all within like 2 miles right there. There's a bunch of restaurants a mile south of us and just kind of all over the place. So anything off campus, there's plenty of availability. I always make the joke that the Chick-fil-A right down the road, I feel like every time I go there, I see ECU students. And same thing for a lot of other places and a lot of the grocery stores here around campus. On campus, there's going to be different jobs kind of posted every single year. And there's kind of 2 categories of those jobs. One is just going to be like your kind of standard work, you get a paycheck, all that stuff. The other is going to be more of our student leader jobs or specific things on campus that the pay more comes in a scholarship or just some kind of another form besides just maybe a check every couple weeks. And I'll actually kind of ask Matt and Izzy, you guys know a little bit more about that, maybe speak to some of those jobs here.
Yeah, I can talk about the student leadership opportunities here. This year we have more student leaders than we've ever had before. I think we're at close to 75 student leaders, which is really exciting. So there's plenty of opportunities to sign up to be a student leader, and that does come with scholarship or possibly even flex dollars, which are like dining dollars. And so those usually, the applications for those go out in December, and we'll hold a whole information session on those and get the information out to you guys. And then through the second semester during the spring, we'll go through interviews, and there's great opportunities for that. Some of them just include being an RA, being a life leader, being what we call a peer mentor, interacting with students that way, rec games, Ring of Fire, which is our student section, a lot of different opportunities out there for different interests too. And so it's a great way to get plugged in on campus, but also receive a little bit more of a scholarship too.
Yeah, and kind of speaking to more of like the paycheck student worker side of that branch, I love that there's a lot of different opportunities for you to find a job that plays to your strength. And so some of those like more paycheck opportunities to find work, we have like advanced span, which gets paychecks. We have a tech team, we have tutors, we have people who give tours on campus. So there's lots of different aspects like that to play to their individual strengths, which I love because then it kind of prepares you to like go out and teach and pursue careers in your specific fields.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of questions here on roommates, two specific ones. The first, can we request a certain roommate? And yes, when you were filling out your application, I believe there's a place that says, do you have anybody that you'd like to room with? Or there's also an opportunity to create what's called a roommate group. Both of these are through eResLife on your original housing application that you filled out. So that's the best way to do it. If you see your placement, if you log on to your account and you see your placement and it's not somebody who you wanted to room with, or maybe somebody applied later now that you want to try to room with, you can email us at reslife@arizonachristian.edu and we will do our best to accommodate it. We can't say for sure if we'll get you the preferred roommate, but we will try our best to do that. And then the other question was, how do you find and communicate with your roommates? And are they assigned yet? A lot of the assignments have been done. If you have completed your application and paid your housing deposit, more than likely you've been placed in housing. And so the best place to find that would be through the eRes website. So if you go to erezlife.com and then sign in using your Populi ID, that would be the best place to see your roommate. It should be under current housing applications. And that also has your roommate's name. And if you click on their name, it'll show you their email. And so that's the best way to reach out to them, is to email them. We've also seen students kind of try to find them through social media that way, but the only information that the university provides is their email. And so that's a great way to reach out to them to figure out things like who's bringing a fridge or a microwave, or what you want your room to look like, and just to get to start to know them. So we highly encourage that you reach out to your roommates in advance.
And I want to plug in here real quick. Matt mentioned a couple websites or different things or different places you can reach out to. If you don't know specifically where to reach out to, again, if you know either the recruiter you're working with, the admissions counselor, the enrollment management specialist, or the athletic recruiting coordinator, or your coach, right? Those are going to be your first go-to. If you know of an individual you are working with, go to them first. If you are unsure, you can't find their email, you guys are getting 1,000 different emails at this time. It's kind of end of the school year and there's just a lot going on. You can always email admissions@arizonachristian.edu and we'll actually add that here to the chat. Again, it's admissions@arizonachristian.edu. That is monitored by a big team. We get forwards from them all the time. It's a great email to send a quick little email. If you just don't know where to go and you're like, hey, I'm an incoming student, this is a random question. It may get to Matt, it may get to Leah, it may get to me, it may get to Izzy. Like, it could get to a lot of different places. But that's just a great, easy one for you to remember. And again, we'll type that here in the chat as we're answering some of these questions.
Perfect. I'm going to ping pong against 4 different questions, but they're all along the same vein. So Kelly, you asked about the parent session. So yes, that is going to be on that Thursday, the 21st that I mentioned. It'll be kind of early afternoon once everything's settled from new student check-in for the first part of it. So just know, yes, it will be that Thursday afternoon. Kind of an asterisk, that's the only parent session that we're going to offer is on that 21st. So unfortunately, if you're coming a little early, that is just the one time that we're going to have that parent session on the 21st. The other question, let me see if I can find it. How do you get your parking pass? I mentioned that it's going to be on your check-in day. Again, I'll send out information shortly here in the next couple weeks about what time and day that your start will be. But the parking pass is free also. So that's another question. It is a free parking pass. Kind of is associated with all of your fees that you pay as a student. So there's no extra additional fee that's going to be for your parking pass. And you'll get it on your check-in day. And then I know 2 questions that are kind of again the same. This information isn't going to be exactly the same as the student orientation that you'll have. So the new student orientation will start literally right after. So when parent session is happening, that's when new student orientation happens. So that'll be kind of over the next few days after that, proceeding to then right before school starts on the 25th. So just kind of know it's going to be maybe some similar information, but it's more maybe about the rules of ACU and getting to know people and just a lot of different ways that you can connect personally now that you're physically on campus. So know that that'll be coming up. And then again, I saw that someone's going to be a transfer as a junior. Awesome. Excited to have you. That does include you even as a transfer student. So the way that we qualify it is we don't call it freshman orientation. It is new student. So whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, wherever kind of coming in at, it is just new student orientation that will start on the 21st.
Okay, great. Have some more housing questions to tackle here. The first one is there a curfew on campus? And there is not a curfew. We do not have a time that you need to be in your dorms or that things that you wouldn't be able to access your dorm or anything like that. We do have quiet hours, which are from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. and that just is generally saying, hey, between these hours, noise has to be kept to a minimum. But other than that, you are free to live your life without restriction there. As far as dorm rules that some people would say are different than other campuses, probably our biggest one, as a Christian university, we do not allow opposite genders in the dorms at all. There's no visitation times or anything like that. So that is the general rule, but we do have a lot of common spaces on campus. Every dorm has a lounge. We also have the Tower Lounge on campus, or several other places, the Pavilion, outdoor locations, a lot of places to still hang out with people, but just no opposite genders in the dorms. That's probably the most common rule, I would say. Other than that, it's a pretty regular college campus dorm rules. And then also a question about the laundry. The laundry is completely free here, so you don't need to save up all those quarters or anything like that. And then as far as how many laundry units in Freedom and Liberty, those are our freshman guys and girls dorms. There are 2 washers and 2 dryers in Freedom and 2 washers and 2 dryers in Liberty. And so those are your easiest access. As a student, though, you technically have access to any of the laundry facilities on campus. So if those were full, you could hop on over to another dorm. And every dorm has their own set of washers and dryers. And it's really just about planning out when I'm using them, but there's plenty for everybody on campus.
Yeah, one of the questions on here is how safe is walking outside of campus? For example, is it safe to walk down the road to Chick-fil-A? Is it safe to walk to the mall? So I'm actually a local. I've lived here my whole life, and so I can kind of I have a lot of history with just the surrounding neighborhood, and I would say it's a pretty safe neighborhood, especially with our campus safety. And I mean, we have a fire station right down the street from us right now, and there's always police cars going around, and so I frequently take walks around the neighborhood. Me and my friends don't have a problem walking to Chick-fil-A or walking to Yogurtini or walking down to QT, and so I would say you're really safe, especially if you just stick to kind of like the common sense rule of if you're feeling uneasy about something, bring a buddy, bring your friends. That's something I love about ACU is the community is really interactive. So there's hardly ever a moment where you have to go somewhere by yourself. You can always find someone to tag along and go with you. So yeah, I would say that's not really a problem.
So we have a bunch of questions and kind of a lot relating to parking passes or kind of different components of transportation. So I'm going to try to kind of knock a few of those out. Do I have to pay for the parking pass? Is probably one of the most straightforward ones. And that is included in your university service fees. So if you look at your official tuition bill, which all those will be official on July 1st. If you're already registered, July 1st, those will all become official. And that's where we'll officially start working on financial clearance and giving your account that stamp that you are financially cleared. So if you aren't already kind of on top of it and know your plan, again, get connected with your coach, recruiter, EMS, whoever you need to get connected to start building that plan. This is just a little plug. If you get that done early, makes July and August a lot less stressful for you guys and gives you more options as well. So feel free to bug us now. We want to help you out. We want to get it all done now because that July 1st comes around and then we just have to press 2 buttons and you're ready to go. And we love that. But your parking pass is included into that, just like a library fee, technology fee, access to the rec center, all of that is just included into that one fee there. And it's technically, I think I saw a question too about, is it with tuition? It's kind of technically separate, but it's all kind of wrapped up into the same thing. And then I think we also had Well, let me, Matt, toss you another one kind of about the meal plans and some of that stuff here on campus
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I see 3 questions that I feel like we can all get kind of together. So the first one is mini fridges and microwaves in the room. Yes, you are totally allowed to have a mini fridge and a microwave. We limit it to 1 per room, so that's why it's great to reach out to your roommate and plan that out. There is a packing list under the housing tab on the Arizona Christian website, which has all the things you're allowed to bring, not allowed to bring. Especially for mini fridges, there's a certain size of fridge you're allowed to have, so it's good to just double check that. Along with that, somebody asked how much food does the meal plan include for a week. So there's 2 different meal plans. There's the 14 meals a week and the 19 meals a week. And those meals are just swipes. So the 2 places you can use those are in the cafeteria. And the cafeteria during the week is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then on the weekends is open for a brunch and a dinner. And so you can go in there, there's designated times, use a meal swipe, and it is an all-you-can-eat buffet then. So you get as much food as you want in the cafeteria. There's also the second option is the Tower Grill, and you can do a meal exchange there, which would not be an all-you-can-eat, but it is just like any typical restaurant. You go up to the front and you can order from a certain list of menu items, and you would get like a burger, fries, and a drink. So that's a great option for on-the-go things. And it also offsets our cafeteria time. So if you have a class during lunchtime or something like that, you can still get food that way. And then also somebody asked if there's a kitchen on campus, and there is. We have a student kitchen that you can. We'll send out a link that you can schedule a time to go in there. And it has a full oven, stove, a sink, a prep area, pretty much everything you need to cook in there. And so I know a lot of students meal prep in there and like to use that. So.
All right, and then a couple questions, I think, again, kind of combining a few that I'll answer here about kind of the check-in days and a few of those. So the main content, new student orientation, parent orientation, and some of that first few things are primarily going to happen after that Thursday, August 21st, new student move-in day, and through the weekend and kind of into the next week. Again, more parent stuff kind of right away, because we know you guys might not stick around for 10 days to hang out with us. But a bunch of student stuff will happen pretty much for the next 10 days after that. And then for those, some of the athletes that are going to move on the campus a little bit early, all the way as early as the first couple of days of August, there won't be as much dedicated full ACU things for you. There are going to be things with your teams and individually. I know our football team does a great job, I'm just picking on them, of just having a good amount of content there for both new students and their parents. But there are also other kind of smaller things available. Like I see a great question like, hey, if we can't be there for that new parent stuff, can we go on a tour to see all that stuff? Absolutely. Again, get in contact with your ARC or even just calling our front desk or emailing that admissions@arizonachristian.edu email. We'll get you scheduled for a tour. We'll get you all the same information. We'll get you all the stuff you would have maybe missed out on, maybe in a formal presentation there. We're happy to help accommodate any of that, especially for you parents come in maybe a little bit earlier in August as the fall athlete sport kind of calendar dictates.
Perfect. And I'm going to kind of start to answer this question, and if anyone wants to join and say anything else, add on to it, that'd be great. So in terms of mailing packages, I know that is a very convenient way to get things here, and it's not necessarily that we discourage people to do that. It is an option, and you can do that for your student. However, just know we have so many retailers so close by that you can probably get anything that you need once you get here. Now, I know that can be a little less convenient, but to make our mailroom not be crazy with 1,000 students coming in and we have to organize that's a lot of chaos for potentially very large packages. I don't even know if our mailroom could hold all the packages that everybody could bring in. So just with that being said, know that there's a Walmart literally like half a mile down the road. There's Target. There's plenty of options that you can get a lot of the items that you might need in advance. But you can mail stuff. We'll drop that in here before we wrap up today. So I'm pretty sure it's just our address. 1 West Firestorm Way. You can put Arizona Christian. The attention line, make sure to put your student's name and their student ID number with it. That's going to be the best kind of round way to do all of that. But again, don't go crazy mailing lots and lots of things. If you're driving, that's a great space. Put as much as you can in your car. Know that you'll have options when you get here as well to purchase things when you arrive.
Cool. And we got a question too, and I'll kind of broaden it a little bit about kind of the safety on campus. We have a question about, cars being stolen or kind of all that. I've been here about 6 years. I was trying to reflect on previous, we release our crime statistics once a year from our campus safety department. You heard from Corey, he releases that, once every year. I'm not aware of anything maybe besides a one-off, Matt, you might, off the top of your head, yeah, maybe a one-off that something happened to a car. The campus, again, is I won't say extremely super safe, but it is a very, very safe place, right? Obviously, one-offs can happen, things can happen. Someone could see a car and go, oh, and check the door handle, it's open, and take off with it. It could happen, right? But again, lock your cars. We have campus safety and golf carts constantly patrolling. We have, last I heard, like 100+ cameras on campus, just kind of all over on dorms, on parking lots, and buildings. So again, it's nothing systemic. You asked the question too about like wheels being stolen. I'm not aware of any situation like that. Again, always be safe. Lock your car. Park it as close as you can to your dorm. Don't park it like on a road or anywhere it's not a parking spot. Our parking lots are well lit. Our campus is well lit. We had a huge lighting project about 2 years ago now where we just made our campus super, super bright. And again, we're in a we have a neighborhood surrounding us. We have fences in the fields now that are all in there. So it's, again, can't guarantee anything. If you leave your car in a bad spot or something happens, that's going to be, kind of a one-off. But generally, again, we're going to keep our campus as safe as possible. And we work really hard to do so.
Yeah. There's a question about if we need like a specific computer for our majors or like technology-wise. There's really a lot of freedom with whatever device you want to bring, whether you want to bring like a Dell or a Chrome or a Mac. A lot of students kind of like use Chrome and Mac is the most common, but it really doesn't matter. There's not like a specific computer that we require for our students to have. So there's a lot of freedom there.
I have a question about a junior transfer and what resident hall you'd be placed in. That kind of just depends on availability and also what you would put as your preference on your housing application. But our upperclassmen dorms include Constitution, Patriot 1, 2, and 3, and sometimes Independence will have transfers in them. So once again, it really is just based on availability. Like I know Constitution tends to fill up very fast. The Patriot 2 are all single dorms, so those fill up very quickly. So that is just based on what we have. But if you are looking on our website, we have videos of all our dorms, and you would like to be placed in one over the other, please feel free to email us, and once again, we'll try to accommodate that as best we can, but it's just based on what we have.
Cool. We have a great question. Is there a nurse of any kind or medical assistance on campus? Smaller things, maybe not larger things like emergencies, right? So it's kind of twofold. If you're part of our athletics department and there's maybe a smaller emergency or an injury, kind of maintaining some of that, we do have our athletic training staff who then, if it's maybe a little more serious, have refer to different specialities off campus as well. But on ACU's campus, there's not going to be like a school nurse or anything like that, but right across the street, there's an urgent care. Again, about a mile south of us, there is an urgent care, an emergency room, and again, that full-fledged hospital, it's a huge hospital complex. There's, I think, I looked at it once, there's like 4 Walgreens within like 2 miles of us, and half of them have like those little urgent care things next to them as well. So yes, nothing immediately on campus, but right across the street, right off 59th Avenue, there is an urgent care there, as well as stuff surrounding the area as well. So again, nothing here, but a 60-second drive, and you can get to probably 3 different places based off strep throat or maybe sprained wrist or anything like that, something maybe minor.
Also, just to add on real quick, that's like another golden piece of the community here at ACU, because I can't count the amount of times that, like, I've had friends who are in dorms and are like, hey, like, I have a fever, I don't want to go to Walgreens and get like cough medicine or whatever. And so the community here is really like one text away from someone running an errand and picking up something for a light emergency like that.
Perfect. So I'll answer Lindsay Peterson's question again, guys. If there's anything you want to share, add on, feel free. Leaving their cars on campus over longer breaks. So again, it's not that you necessarily cannot do that. It wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that. If you're already going to be gone for maybe a couple weeks at a time, thinking Christmas, probably should just go ahead and take your car back with you. You can leave it here, but again, it's one of those things where you just don't necessarily know with like temperatures or things that are happening, you know, there could just be a potential that something necessarily could happen. The other thing too, with especially like summer breaks, I'm not gonna lie right now, we do have a handful of cars that are tarped over in our parking lot, but especially here during the summer, it gets pretty daggone hot. So again, it's not that you cannot necessarily leave it here, but I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to do that. It's also better for car health, keeping it running, doing lots of things. So again, can you? Yes, kind of an asterisk with it, but just want to make sure to keep good care for your car and your vehicle as well, just not to leave it not being driven for a long period of time.
Yeah. And so we're coming up on time-wise. You're asking a bunch of great questions, but we're kind of getting down to the end. So I'm going to kind of maybe give us like the 5-minute warning here. If you have any more questions, get them at it. Obviously, we've gone through a bunch of different information. We honestly love your housing questions. That's why we bring guys like Matt on. So if you guys have any more dorm questions, housing questions, student experience questions, degree questions, classroom questions, anything like that, feel free to ask. Again, we'll kind of give ourselves our 5-minute warning here for you guys to get those questions answered, but we do have a few more housing.
Yeah. First question is, can freshmen live in the single dorms? And generally speaking, I would say no. The single dorms are only for upperclassmen, and they're very limited, so they do fill up very quickly. Our freshman dorms include Freedom and Liberty and Independence, which are all double occupancies. And then the other question is, can you cook in your rooms? And that depends on how creative you want to get. Once again, I would refer back to the packing list that's on the website, because that has a list of prohibited items, and a lot of those are cooking appliances. So in dorms, you are allowed to have a microwave and an air fryer, which there's a ton of recipes for an air fryer, so you could really go crazy with that. But you're not allowed to have a hot plate. Certain tea kettles are not allowed, things like that. So I would just look at that packing list and really double check that. But like I said, we do have that student kitchen that does have a full stove. And so if you would like to meal prep or do a little bit more cooking, that's available to any student. So
Cool. And as we're kind of coming down to our last little bit of time here, Leah, I'd kind of just throw a question your way. Sure. You're sending out communications all the time. You're kind of our timeline and information guru for us here in our admissions and enrollment department. What would be your best advice right now to anyone who's starting this fall to make sure is either done or they're doing like next week?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So especially some of you have already gotten your class schedule, which is great. I would say the one thing as you're kind of approaching getting everything completed to come to ACU, if you don't already have your class schedule, like DJ's been saying several times, David, to reach out to your coach, your ARC, your recruiter, whoever that is if you don't have your class schedule, that means there's probably something missing. So definitely reach out to them. A big one, if you haven't already done it, like should have done it 2 weeks ago kind of thing, is definitely your FAFSA. FAFSA is huge to make sure it's going to help you know what aid you qualify for. There's also 2 links that are additional if you choose to utilize some of that aid. It's called Entrance Counseling and Master Promissory Note. So make sure to be doing those types of things. We've been talking about housing a lot as well. So housing, if you haven't already completed your housing application, which our housing application is really awesome. It does a really great job on asking you lots of specific questions to try to personalize what you want with your roommate as much as possible. So make sure to do that. Once you've completed your housing application, there's also a $150 housing fee. So make sure to do all of that. You actually won't get placed in your dorm until you pay the fee. So make sure, you might have thought you completed the form, got to pay the fee to actually get placed in your dorm. And then, just keep working with your athletic recruitment coordinator, your recruiter, those types of things to kind of finish up. There's usually what we call confirm call once you kind of get those other details I mentioned ironed out. The last thing we're going to do is just finalize your major, make sure we have your transcripts in. If you have any transfer credits, we want to make sure to bring those in. So we're going to talk through a lot of the last kind of the final details. And the very last thing you'll do after that, once everything is clear and good to go, you'll meet with your EMS, you'll get your class schedule, and you'll get your ACU email as well, which is also really important. Actually, even today, as I was emailing everybody, hey, the virtual orientation is going to start soon, it was going to your Arizona Christian University email. So if you didn't potentially get an email or you thought you didn't, check your spam for your normal email that we have on file for you and make sure you have access to your ACU email. That's what I got.
Perfect. Thank you, Leah. We have a few questions. Matt, if you want to answer the fish one there.
Yes,
we're getting
some buzz about the fish. Yes, off the top of my head, you are allowed to have a fish in your dorm room. I believe that's one of 2 pets that we allow or something like that. I'm not sure as far as the size of the fish tank or how many fish you are allowed to have. I'd have to look back over the handbook for that. But I do believe there's a stipulation in there where it must be kept clean and it must not distract your roommate, or there has to be some kind of agreement there. So I think as long as the fish tank is contained and not bothering anyone or not creating a stench or things like that, it is allowed. So
I think, if I remember, it's like pretty small. It's like a gallon or 2.
I would probably guess, yeah.
So like a betta fish or a small little
Yeah.
fish or something like that. All right. Well, let's wrap up to maybe with the last few minutes. Izzy, I want to toss a question your way here. What would maybe be your best piece of advice for an incoming ACU student? Maybe for that first week, or maybe someone's nervous about starting, that freshman year, kind of getting into it. What's maybe a good piece of advice you have for them?
Yeah, it's kind of 2-part, but I would say go to the events. Like, go to all the Welcome Week events. There's one every single night for all of Welcome Week. Get involved, say hi to random people. Like, there are people that I met on my freshman orientation that it was just like, I sat by a random girl in the new student orientation and I was like, hey, can I sit here? And we ended up like really hitting off and being close friends. So you never know like what kind of community you're gonna build in that first week. That's just super fun. And kind of in that same vein, it's super nerve-wracking to go to your first week at college. It's like overwhelming. There's a lot of people. Your parents left. Like, it's a lot. But I promise you, like, you're nervous, but so is the person next to you. So if you just like remind yourself, like, hey, everybody here is nervous. Everybody's here as nervous as I am. Like, calm the nerves a little bit, and then you can actually be an agent to help your other and fellow peers feel less nervous. And like, that is a beautiful way to just start your first week and have fun and enjoy it, because it really is an amazing experience.
Perfect. And Matt, I think the last question will be for you here. What is maybe your best advice for someone setting up their dorm or getting into their dorm at this point? Maybe something they could, plan on bringing, something you've seen work really well in dorms. I don't know. Keep it pretty broad there.
Yeah, as far as getting set up in dorms, I remember moving into college and I was so stressed about what should I bring, what am I going to have room for, things like that. And so I think a couple of things. One, bring what you feel like you need, and then once you get here, go to the store and then buy stuff. It's always nice to have kind of a visual layout of the space before you start purchasing things, because you never want to get here and you're like, we've had people show up with U-Haul trucks before and I'm just like, I don't know how they're going to fit that all in there. So yeah, get a good visual on the place and then figure out really what you need. And then I would say, dorm rooms are a blank slate. Make it your own. We encourage putting up posters, pictures from home, of family, things like that. Make it your own space, and that helps immensely in that transition to college. You'll feel less homesick. You get to kind of display your personality a little bit. It might be fun to connect with your roommate and decide what things you guys want to have in your room. Things like that just feels homier, and so. Just treat it like your house and kind of have fun with it. A question on the size of the beds. For most beds, they are twin XL. There's only a couple of rooms on campus if you're in a Constitution single or in a Patriot 2 single, but usually those are upperclassmen. You have a different size bed, but everybody else has a twin XL bed. And you do have, I think I saw this question earlier too, which would be a good time to answer it. You can bunk your beds or loft your beds. And so if you would like to do that, you can just reach out to us at ResLife, and we will possibly even have that done before you move in if you reach out to us prior. There is a slight fee for lofting beds, but we'll let you know about that. But yeah, it's another great way to customize the space, create more room, things like that. So.
Perfect. Well, again, I think the questions have slowed down here, and I appreciate everyone here again helping us out with our Q&A. My last little reminder here for you guys is, again, if you have any other further questions, or if in 30 minutes we turn off here and you go, oh shoot, what about this, right? Or if you're a student watching and you tell your parents, hey, I got all this information, and then mom goes, hey, did you ask about this? And, oh, no, we didn't. Again, email. If you don't know who to email admissions@arizonachristian.edu. That'll be your go-to. It will get right to the right spot within one business day. Again, that's just a nice central location. Or, reply to any emails you've been getting. Email your recruiter, your EMS, your ARC, your coach, whoever it is that you're talking to. Send them an email. They'll get to the right person. We'll get that all answered. Or again, on any of those housing questions, again, reslife@arizonachristian.edu. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining here for the Q&A part. If you, again, we're excited to bring you guys here to the fall. We can't wait to see you guys through that check-in. It's going to be a really fun week. We have a lot of really fun things planned for you. But until then, again, if you have any questions, let us know. But for today, we're all set. Thanks, guys.